Okay guys, this is Mark from intats.com. Alright, as promised, I was going to give you guys a quick demo on how on what microservices are all about. Now, what I've gone and done is written a quick demo. It's a Twitter bot that downloads videos in tweets it's mentioned in, right? So I built this using the Serverless framework because it's very easy to get started and set up. So now the app is in three parts: a consumer, which checks Twitter every 5 minutes for mentions, pulls in those tweets, it then checks if there's it checks if the tweet is even a reply. If it's not a reply, sends an error message. It then checks if the parent tweet has any media entities attached to it. If not, there's also an error. If everything's okay, it places the tweet on a SQS queue for later processing. We then have our producer function, which is then triggered by the SQS queue, and then it will get the URL, get the media URL for the video, download it, and then upload it to S3. And then it places that, then it creates another entity on another queue, which then triggers a messenger function, and that message function will then reply to the tweet with the URL to the video. So the code is here on my Bitbucket. I'm going to link it in the thread. You guys can check it out and have fun. So here's a quick walkthrough of what I just mentioned. It uses the Serverless framework, as I said. So Serverless framework uses this very easy to use, very friendly YAML file. You can take a look at this and see how it's set up. You can see that I have defined some environment variables. You see, it's good practice, guys, that you should not hard set your secrets inside the app. So what I did here was use the AWS parameter store to keep my stuff in there. You find more details of that inside the README file. Now, I created some permissions for Xray. We'll see more on that later, because observability is also another good practice. It saved me quite a bit while I was writing this up. And I've also added permissions to the S3 bucket that we're going to create as well. So I have my consumer function here. Oh, it's set for 1 minute, not 5 minutes as I mentioned earlier. My downloader, as you can see, it's triggered by this SQS queue. My responder, triggered by a different SQS queue, and an error function, just to, like, any errors that get added to this queue, and then this will also send a message to the user. I've also gone, so Serverless framework, it allows you to embed a CloudFormation template. I know CloudFormation is Amazon's infrastructure as code. So instead of having to manually set this up myself, I can write the script, which will then go in and set up some stuff resources for me. So like here, it's creating an S3 bucket, as well as its policy. And I also define the SQS queues here and their corresponding policy. Now let's take a look at the code. So this is a consumer. Ignore the red because I just purged some files in my make file. So as best practice, you always want to instrument your code. So the library I'm using is called OpenCensus. It is also linked in the README file. So as we go through the code, you'll see that I start tracing and I add some variables to the trace as we go along. Trust me, it's simple, but it's a very powerful technique. So basic stuff, I set up my Twitter client, get the mentions timeline, pulling at most 20 mentions at a time. If there's an error, add a trace that it failed, and then just quit out. But if we do get tweets, we just loop through, get the parent tweet, do our checks. As I said, it needs to have media entities, and the entities has to be a video. Otherwise, we just add to the error queue. But if everything's good, we add it to the consumption queue. And this, I said, ignore the red. You know what? This red is bothering me. I'm just going to fix this right now. Do this real quick. So I'm running dep here, which is a package manager for Go somewhat. I'm using dep instead of the Go modules because modules are still broken at the moment. But it gets the job done. Let me move mine up. Alright, so our libraries are back. So now Golang should stop complaining about all the red. Alright, while it's indexing, I'll continue. So yeah, so the add consumption queue, it's pretty simple. I just take in the tweets and then just add it to this SQS queue. Annotating as I go along, and my handler does this. Very simple function. That's it. That's us getting the tweets and then adding them to a queue. Now we can look at our downloader. Darn. Yeah, sorry about that. Golang kind of hung up for a bit, but yeah, but let's continue. Yeah, so this is here. I'm adding it to the consumption queue. I just create a new session, like a new queue session. Add it to the queue and log those and annotate the results and run away. Yeah, this is just one function. It's all independent part. It has no hard dependencies on the rest of the application. It's standalone. And you can work on this file independent from others. And that is the beauty of microservices. Yeah, so let's take a look at our downloader. So this one is triggered by the SQS event. It will take messages off the queue, get the video URL that we passed earlier, download the file, then upload it to S3. And then it adds the URL, and then it adds that response queue where we add that URL, to the queue. Also completely independent. And then that finally we get to our responder, which is also triggered by another SQS event. Where You will take the tweets, take the messages off the queue, find the original tweet, and then reply with the URL. And that's it basically. Very simple, quick and dirty MVP of our Twitter bot built with microservices using the serverless framework. And I'm sure you can, from this quick demo, you can truly appreciate the simplicity and ease of deployment. In fact, let me show you how this is deployed. I wrote a makefile, which basically just does this. It compiles the Go binaries, and then the serverless framework will just deploy it to your AWS account for you. It's as simple as this. You just run, let me clear. You just run make deploy. Alright. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes. I'm gonna pause, then I'll get back to you when it's done. Alright guys, and we're back. Now we can see that our functions are deployed. And if we go to our Amazon console, let's check out Xray. You can just give it a minute. I will start getting some data. Alright, we have 2 of our workers here. Let's check our get mentions. So this is the beauty of Xray. It allows you to step through your and see what's going on. That's my top level. Yeah, these are things I've annotated and whatnot. It's pretty powerful. And that's basically it for the demo. You can check it out. I'll put a link to the repository. Check it out, play with it, see all my bugs that you in this quick and dirty demo. Like for example, the reason why I'm getting so many errors in the queue is because most of my tweets don't really have videos in them. Tweets I'm mentioning because I use my own account. For this, and most of the tweets I'm mentioning don't really have videos in them. So that's why I'm getting all of these failures. What you may want to do is create a unique Twitter account just for this and try it out. Alright guys, that's it for now. If you want more of this, I do have a mailing list where we go through a premium, where we go through a more complex project every month, and I'll link that below as well if you want to check it out. Anyway guys, thanks for your time. Peace.